I want to thank my colleague, Senator Capito. We're very proud West Virginians, born and raised in West Virginia, so you can tell by our presentations. And it is a special day that we can say happy birthday to Wheeling. Wheeling is an unbelievable historical city when you think about it. And you think about the state of West Virginia, we're the only state forged out of the Civil War. Abraham Lincoln's handprint is all over our state. And basically, he was involved for us to become a state in 1863. But the significance formation of our state and Wheeling being a major economic stronghold because of the river, because of the gateway. Can you believe in 1849, when the suspension bridge was built, it was called the Gateway to the West. The Gateway to the West. Not that far from here, maybe 4 hours drive. So you can see how our country has expanded and how quickly it expanded. The lessons during the construction of the bridge was later used to build the Brooklyn Bridge. I want to tell Senator Schumer we helped, and I'm sure he'd be pleased with that. In 1933, the Wheeling Jamboree. The Wheeling Jamboree was the longest, and people would tell you during World War II they could hear, because it was 50,000 watts, they would hear it on the battleships. It was unbelievable. And the music, the talent, the country music that came out of there, and some of the most famous artists of the time, and still yet to this day, passed through Wheeling. These points in time showcase the importance of the city of Wheeling and the state of West Virginia throughout American history. I keep thinking about the Marsh Wheeling Stogies. They call them the Marsh Wheeling Stogies. Anybody that maybe like to smoke a cigar every now and then, that was 1840. 1840 and still in operation. It's unbelievable. And then, of course, Senator Capito talked about Wheeling Steel. And it's a tremendous industrial might there for many, many years. We talked about also the Zane brothers. They established settlement in 1769, as has been said, and continued to join the Zane brothers. People came from all over. It was a small settlement to keep growing and growing like the country was at that time. Wheeling's Fort Henry. Fort Henry played a role in what was considered the last battle of the Revolutionary War, but it was a significant strategic point for us. The restored government of Virginia at that time. Virginia succeeded in 1861. 1861, there was no Virginia as we know Virginia today. So they moved over to Western Virginia, which is where Wheeling, and that was the restored government. That's where the capital was. And that was Arthur Borman. And then in 1863, we have a statue in the Capitol that has Abraham Lincoln walking at midnight, deciding, is he going to sign this proclamation? The country's already divided. Now he's going to divide a state. And that has not been done because basically up until that, the Constitution is very clear. You had to have permission from the territory you were in or from another state to succeed. But Abraham Lincoln took it upon himself. And if you see the beautiful, unusual shape of our state, there's very few straight lines. And especially when you see this eastern panhandle that's only an hour and 10-minute drive from here. The reason for that, you have Harper's Ferry, John Brown's raid, 1859, kicked off the Civil War. And then you have the railroads, the confluence of the Shenandoah and the Potomac. It's just unbelievable what all. And he knew he needed that arsenal. The folklore is this. I don't know if it's true or not, but it's a good story. The three counties we have over there is Morgan, Berkeley, and Jefferson. And it was said that after the war that they were supposed to have a referendum and vote to see if it went back to the state of Virginia. Well, I'm understanding that Ulysses S. Grant was then the president. And it's said that he stationed quite a few troops that had voting rights. And the rest is history because it's still West Virginia. So there's some good anecdotes about that. Wheeling became the provisional capital for the split in western part of Virginia and during the Civil War. There's so many parts of Wheeling that I have become so fond of, and the people there. The Wheeling feeling is a saying that they have. They have a Wheeling Jamboree. They have a Wheeling Italian Festival because the authenticity of that community is unbelievable, and it is bringing everybody together. It has brought everybody together. But being raised in Farmington, I'm Shelley was raised about 2 hours north of me, an hour and a half. Well, back those days before we had the I-79, it was a good 2-hour drive. And so I'm a little bit further in the north central part of the state, closer to Fairmont, Morgantown. But knowing about that, but Wheeling was the hub. It was the place to go. And it was basically the gateway in also at that time into Pittsburgh. And it's still kind of considered a distant suburb of Pittsburgh to a certain extent. The economy, the history, the people, some famous people, some productive people. A lot of our leaders have come from that area. And when Wheeling became the first capital, we couldn't decide where the capital of West Virginia should be. So they floated up and down the Ohio River, back to Charleston, back to Wheeling. Charleston, Wheeling, until it settled in Charleston, West Virginia. But I'm just proud to be standing here with my colleague today. For those that live in Wheeling today and those who have lived in Wheeling at some time in their life, their family, because all the good quality jobs were there, a lot of good union jobs, well-paying jobs, benefits, to all of them. There's a special place in our heart for Wheeling, West Virginia, a special place in American history for Wheeling, West Virginia, and a special place in all of our hearts for the state of West Virginia. So I say thank you, happy birthday to a great, great city of ours and to the great state of West Virginia. And we want to make sure that we're proud that this become a resolution that has been entered and accepted. And with that, I yield the floor.